shining on in every way. This is a key changing soul. I am awakening. I am awakening. I am awakening to life. Yes, I am now. I am awakening. I am awakening. I am awakening to life.
Day weekend. What a weekend this is of remembrance. Every time I drive by the cemeteries and I see the beautiful flags and people that are remembered for those who served, I'm just really deeply grateful. So I just want to open up with just a quick prayer for that. So we're going to talk about spiritual mind treatment today, but I just want to open up with a prayer, just knowing in this moment. We just breathe in, slow down, feeling that presence of the one life, that impetus of goodness that's out there all the time, knowing that there's a power and a presence greater than we are, that we get to use that. And I just shower my heart, my love, just my mental ideas on those who have served, who have given their lives, families who've sacrificed, who've lost loved ones. And I just know right here and right now that love leads the way in their evolution, of their peace, of their deep purpose, knowing that as they bring freedom for us here, we respect, we admire, and we hold them in light of love and light of healing. So I know this is all good. This is moving through us in a deep and profound way. And we are deeply grateful for all those who serve with such depth into their being. And so we simply let this be, and together we say, and so it is. So my name is Reverend Lanna Cairns, and I'm the Community Spiritual Director here. It's so lovely to be here always. I just love this building. I love this weather. I think summer is coming. I'm feeling it, feeling the warmth, so it's really nice to be here. So our religion is called religious science, and our teachings are called the science of mind. And what this means is that we know that there's a power and presence greater in the universe, greater than we are, that we get to use. So as we align our mind, our being with this wisdom, with this knowledge, our lives just breathe in harmony of abundance, of freedom, of peace, of health, of joy. And so our founder, Dr. Ernest Holmes, it'll be 100 years next February, really united all religions into this teaching, that there is one power, one presence. We call it many names. We call it divine intelligence, the presence. We call it love. We call it peace. We call it God. And it permeates itself. It expresses itself in everyone and everything. So even Judge Thomas Troward once said, even in the dark matter, there is life in that. So we know that everything we see and know to be true is an expression of this one life. And as we allow that to lead our lives shift. So these teachings are not just a Sunday teachings, but it's really how we live our life. Somebody asked me last week, what is your spiritual practice? And I said, well, when am I not practicing? So I think we incorporate this into our being, and we see things unfold in ways that we could not even imagine. Even being here in Salt Lake City, married, kids, dogs, I never would have imagined my life to unfold in this way. But there is a purpose, there's a destiny to our soul's evolution. And so we remind ourselves of that when we come in on Sundays. The lovely Carol Harris has blessed all these chairs, that we have a prayer box on the side. We have an amazing musician. We have an amazing technical team, a wonderful practitioner today who came all the way from Heber, driving to come here and to really share his heart intention with us. So welcome to the Wasatch Spiritual Center. One good news today, I don't know if you guys saw our new logo, but yay, a step in the right evolution, a right direction. Thank you, Donna Weisinger, our board president, for doing that in like 2.5 seconds. She's that kind of person. And what I love about it is I love the Tibetan colors of royal blue and poppy red and gold. And when she designed it, of course, with the mountains, I said it's so interesting because it's the up and downs of life. But it's surrounded in the blue, in the law, and you see that gorgeous yellow circle, which symbolizes spirit. So I know there's a lot of designers out here who said, we could have done this or this. So I know everyone has eagle eyes. But for us, it feels alive and it feels wonderful. So we're moving really in the right direction. So thank you, Donna, who's in North Dakota, moving her daughter today. So today I asked somebody to do a sacred share. And thank you, Mike Bolts, for this introduction. And he needs no introduction. But when I met him at Oasis Restaurant, when I don't know when that was, maybe this spring 2025, or late 2025, I knew within the first 5 minutes he was our band leader. I knew not just because of his musical gifts that I heard so much about. I listened to his CD in my car all the time, but he brings such warmth and wisdom and love to this conversation that I felt he's somebody that I've known for a very long time. So he's such a blessing to us. He comes here, sets up all this gear. Being a musician, I think I would just pick the flute. You could just put it in your pocket and skedaddle, but he comes with all this gear, gets it ready for us in such a beautiful, wonderful way that we're so blessed, and I'm so excited to share today with you Gary Stoddard and the Sacred Share. So welcome, Gary. Welcome.
You are divine.
You are divine. You are a wonderful expression of all that is. You are a creative creature that God is able to experience life through. When I was younger, I am one of 8 children in a household of 10. I'm towards the end, but we were allowed to express ourselves in any form. We grew up in the local culture here. We were a Mormon family, but I would deem us a Bohemian Mormon family. Our expression was not that strict in the religion itself. My father just wanted to have us realize that there is a power, a force greater than ourselves that we should connect with, to direct us, to guide us, to give us encouragement, to protect us. I'm a crier, sorry. So all of us were able to move on into our lives and pursue our own passions. Life is good. I was one of the stricter Mormons in the family. I was trying to find my absolute connection following the rule book. The rule book was important to me. This step, then that step, then that step. The baptism, the confirmation, the temple marriage, all that kind of thing. And so I headed off on a mission. And I ended up in a country known as Japan. Sugoku yoroshiku gozaimasu wa. Nando. Anyway, in this place, the Mormons teach you to go and teach, but do not be taught. So that is a rule I followed for a while. And with opportunities to speak with Shintos, Buddhists, the priests, the monks, even the people that followed the teachings very well, I found out that there was something more. There was a different philosophy, a different insight. Something that changed my life and planted a seed was that of a Buddhist priest. We were in the temple speaking one-on-one, and he said, "My friend, my brother, there are many paths that lead to the top of Mount Fuji. Just pick one. We all end up in the same place." And it may have taken me a while, because I came back and did the get married within 6 months, and which is taught, start that family, temple marriage, eternity forever, don't look back, don't look forward, don't pay attention. But gradually, I was able to find Unity of Salt Lake, which is a sister kind of philosophy, where you come to realize that you are the divine, that there is no separation between you and the divine. You do not need a bishop, a priest, a minister, to teach you the way.
I don't want to lose my job. No.
And when I say that, I don't mean this, because it is essential for us to learn how to find who we truly are. Am I over time? I've never done this before, so I apologize. But the greatest gift given to me was that of realizing that we have the power within us to create the world that we project. We have the power within us to create the world we experience. And it's completely up to us, no matter where we are in our life, to take the experiences we've had, good and bad. I call them opportunities now. And in the Buddhist philosophy, they call them the bodhis, those people, those events that come into your life to challenge you, to help you remember that you are the Buddha, that you are the Cristo, that you are not separate. You are the divine. You are the divine. You are the divine. And this is your opportunity to express. We forget when we come down, but you are explorers. You are adventurers. You are moving into a place where you don't have a rule book. You don't have a manual. But you said to yourself, I wish to seek the truth. And I must commend you for that. And I hope that all of us have a marvelous journey. We do have an incredible individual to lead us on that path of finding ourselves, finding that connection. And I must commend you for all of your efforts. So in that, you are powerful. You are endless. We are powerful. And as a community, everything is achievable. Have faith and be believing, and all things will work together for your good. As Jesus said, as I am, as you are, I once was. As I am, you can become. Because he realized his divinity, and you are now on that same path. And so it is.
Oh,
Thank you, Gary. When I was thinking of what to do for the reading, part of me forgot who I really am when I was reading this amazing prayer from Ernest Holmes. I found it difficult because of conditions right now in our country and our world to fully know the truth. And I'm a peacenik, and I chose this prayer because it's Ernest Holmes' prayer for peace, and I challenge you. When you listen to this prayer, make it your own and remember who you are. And by doing that, you're affirming it in your life throughout the day in your personal interactions. And that's what got me back to center. My peace within me requires me to see peace in you and everyone I interact with, and pray for the world and all humanity. So today's reading is adapted from 365 Science of Mind. It's a summary of the Science of Mind textbook, which is like an encyclopedia. And it's a year of daily wisdom because it's a daily reading each day that I start my day with for every day of the year. A prayer for peace. I know that there is one mind, which is the mind of God, in which all people live and have their being. I know there is a divine pattern for humanity, and with it, there is infinite harmony and peace, cooperation, and unity. I know that the mind of humankind, being one with the mind of God, shall discover the ways and means to permit the flow of divine love between individuals and nations. Therefore, harmony, peace, cooperation, and unity are experienced by all. I know that because divine mind has created us all. We are bound together in one infinite and perfect unity. I know that all people and all nations will remain individual, but unified for the common purpose of promoting peace, happiness, harmony, prosperity. I know that deep within each person, the divine pattern of perfect peace is already implanted. I now proclaim that in each person and in leaders of thought everywhere, this divine pattern moves to action and to form, to the end that all nations and all people will live together in peace, harmony, and prosperity forever. And so it is. So now let us each take a few moments of silence to focus on the peaceful presence, our divine self. And then I'll end the silence by another prayer of my own. I am so grateful for all the good, for all the human beings on this earth, in this room, in my family and community. We are one with this one presence that moves and breathes in the world of form, in this body temple. And we come here today to celebrate that, to feel that in community, the wholeness, the beauty, the ever-flowing love. Breathing that in, that love, brings me peace, brings my family peace, brings my community peace. We are one with all humankind. And our wish, our prayer, our knowing is peace, first and foremost, for me, for each individual, for the outpicturing of peace in the world starts with me. Each of you, we know that, and it is our purpose to go through life knowing it always for ourselves so that we can see it and feel it in others, so they wake up if they already don't realize it. They feel it. This is the power of the living presence. I realize that, and I use that. And I am grateful for that. As with all the people that helped put this service together today, in love, in caring, for humanity. Taking care of number one first means we can take care of all in all we see and do. I am blessed to be here with you today, and we together are blessed in community. As together we say, and so it is.
Good morning. I'm not sure if my speaker's really loud because my keyboard was distorting during that first song. I pulled it down, but that's what we get. What do you imagine is possible right here? What do you imagine? Our mind, not our brain, our mind is a very powerful tool. And I had an opportunity to write a song called Whatever You Imagine. Because of the situations and philosophies I'd been exposed to. But it reminds me that it's absolutely true. Whatever you imagine is possible. What do you imagine is possible right here? You drive away the violence, all the separateness and fear. Love is the only method, yes it is, that seems to bridge this space that we have all created here between the human race. Whatever you imagine, whatever you believe, the heart can make it happen. All that our minds conceive, whatever you imagine can become the truth today in everybody's actions and in every word we say. You know the seed is the beginning, yeah, yes it is. Just imagine it to grow, and all the world remembering, then love is all we'll know. As I look back and now, as I reflect, there is so much about this world I could regret, but you know that I like, and our world starts new every day. Oh, just imagine love surrounding us, here's what we'd say. Whatever you imagine, whatever you believe, the heart can make it happen. All that our minds conceive. Imagine it's possible right here to drive away the violence, the separateness and fear. Love is the only method that seems to bridge this space that we have all created here between the human race. Do you care? Do Hey, thank you. But before I sat down, I did a musical called Whatever You Imagine, which was built around that song, but I only brought the children's size of these. That just says Whatever You Imagine. Probably would fit on a woman's arm. Oh, there. But I will bring the adult ones next time. But if you'd like to grab one, if it fits, excellent. Next time I'll get you another one. But thank you so much.
Well, it's nice to be flanked by two amazing people today. It makes my job so easy. I wanted to say Dr. Gary Stoddard, Dr. Jim Harris. Thank you for your beautiful share. And it's funny, as some of you know, I do these sacred shares because I'm almost a talent agent or a casting director, knowing that when I would like to take off on a Sunday, oh, who could speak for me? Ba-boom, ba-boom, ba-boom. So thank you for leveling up with a beautiful share, beautiful heartfelt share, and so grateful you're here with us. And Jim, thank you for coming all this way from Heber to be with us and share something so beautiful today. So thank you. So today, my sermon talk is the transformational power of how we pray. So this is our 8th Sunday, so yay, we're still cooking, we're still here. Good job, everyone. And I was somewhat strategic in how I wanted to roll out our teaching. So I initially talked about our practices, our principles. I talked about the law. I talked about faith last week. And today I wanted to talk about how is it that religious scientists pray. And we have two tenets in our teachings, and they are faith and prayer. Faith in the spiritual laws that work, and prayer in how we affirm our good. So I wanted to show you how we pray in this formula. But before I begin, I want to just have two caveats. First one is, you have to find your own way to your truth. Our faith is open at the top. So even though we have this formula, I tweak it all the time. Sometimes I want to pray in the morning just with my voice, just in that prayer. Brad, my husband, bought me a beautiful journal that I write prayers in. Sometimes lately, what I've been doing is writing my prayer before I really get working in my office. I'll write a treatment, 3 sentences per each category. I highlight it and delete it. So I ask you today, when I'm talking about these stages of how we pray, to see what works for you. What needs to be tweaked for you? What step in that prayer is easy? What step in that prayer is kind of challenging? So we're open here, and we're a New Thought community. Everyone has access to their truth. I'm only giving you ideas and suggestions in you finding that way for yourself. This is why I love how we pray. I love what we talk about, because it's really a mystical tradition that we're all a part of. So as we explore the science of mind treatment today, for us, it isn't just about positive thinking. It's not about looking at a distant deity. And it's really not about wishful affirmations. For us, spiritual mind treatment is a conscious realization of the truth of who we are. It's a spiritual method, a strategy that we align our mind with the divine reality that is. So as we recognize that all of this comes from one source, we call it infinite intelligence, we call it divine love, creative power. It's all present within us all the time. Ernest Holmes wrote in The Science of Mind, he says, treatment is the act, it's the art, and the science of inducing thought within the mentality of the one that is treating. So in other words, we don't force God. We don't say, God, look at me, here I am. We awaken ourselves to what God is already doing within. So we tap into that power that already exists within us. So we have 5 steps that move consciousness from fear to faith, from limitation to possibility, from separation, from a disconnect of source to unity. So we have 5 steps. I like to do a 6th step because I just like to work harder in everything I do. But I like to begin with gratitude. And at one time, our movement had 2 different components, RSI, International Religious Science, and the old school had 7 steps. So I'm shortening that into 6. But I like to begin with gratitude. And what that does is it just expects the better and the good to come. So rather than coming from a place of lack or worry, we already are moving in that energy of positivity and flowing in that truth. So these aren't mechanical steps for us. These are moments and movements of awareness to the one. And they guide the soul into alignment with reality itself. So the purpose when we treat, we can call spiritual mind treatment, isn't to manipulate life, but it is to awaken the unity that exists within ourselves. So the first step we call is recognition. And I wrote the prayer steps for you on a piece of paper that you can take home later if you so choose. And it's an acknowledgement of the presence of God. So we center in that, and really good ministers, practitioners will use these words, that we recognize there is one life, one intelligence, one force, one power, one presence. And we call it so many names. I like saying now in my prayers, it's the God of many colors. It's the God of many faces. It's the God of many expressions. And this presence is equally present in all life. And when we begin treatment, we shift away from the appearances of the problem, or I like to call it a disconnect from source, to the outer condition that we're towards principle. So we don't get beguiled by the outer condition that said there's lack, there's dis-ease, there's conflict, there's fear, there's poverty. What we do in this recognition phase is we say there is still one life. There is still divine harmony. There is infinite possibility. So recognition lifts our consciousness above appearances. And Jesus often demonstrated this. He knew the truth of what he was manifesting. Mystics across all traditions know this truth as well, that the presence of God exists within everyone. Even one of our teachers, Judge Thomas Troward, when he talks about the dark matter, even inanimate objects have a life force. You know, when you tidy up your home or declutter, the energy that creates, that everything is embodied, imbued with this force, this recognition of the one. And we believe that all of this is already within us, that the kingdom of heaven is within. Our second step that we look at is called unification, knowing our oneness with Spirit. And as a former Greek Catholic person, this was the hardest step for me. It took me years to think that I am good enough, that the essence of within me is made by God, that I am okay, that I am good enough for God to put itself in me. It literally, if I would go back home to my beautiful town of Saskatoon, Saskatchewan, and say, God lives within you, they would say, Salem, Massachusetts, that's around or up, off we go. I don't think it would be well received because we believe that God lives within us. So sometimes practitioners and ministers will say we're connected to it, we're part of it. Not at all. We are one with that, what that is. I like to say I am that which that is. I am one with the one. That we are birthed in this way of God, that everyone you see is the face of God. Everything you hear is coming from that one essence. So after recognizing Spirit, we recognize our unity with it, that we're not separate, that there's no distance, that God isn't over there and I'm over here, that we are connected to it. And this is one of the boldest teachings in our philosophy, that the divine life flows through everyone and everything. Holmes wrote in this category that we are surrounded by the creative mind, which receives and directs our thinking into form. So if spirit is infinite, then there can be no place where spirit is absent. So our true nature is rooted in the divine. And treatment moves us away from, I hope God helps me, or in my former tradition, I hope I'm good enough for God to bless me. I hope my wicked ways do not impede God in giving me what I desire. We don't go from ego by saying, I alone must control life. We believe that we cooperate with Spirit. We allow in all that is into our lives. So unification for us dissolves fear, because fear is born from an illusion of being separate. And when we feel disconnected, we feel life in a big way. We feel anxiety. We feel scarcity, poverty, loneliness, despair. But when we know the life of God is my life now, something shifts within us. So about 3 weeks ago, I had something that happened that was a really interesting experience, a learning moment. And what I now think, writing this sermon this last week, is I think when stuff gets so wow, I think it's a speed train, it's a bullet train to your greater truth. I think it wakens you up, it shakens you up into something that already wanted to emerge. It almost like rips the bandage off of your true potential. So I look at things now very differently. If something is harsh, I had a friend that just had a challenging diagnosis, and how she has changed her life completely from this diagnosis. So sometimes you get this stuff and it's like, wow. But I think, and I feel for me, it's a speed train to a greater expression of God. So talk about how we frame our problems, frame our disconnect, frame it into something that is possible, that is positive, that moves us into our truth, and it manifests in a bigger, deeper way. So the third step, how we pray, is called realization, speaking the truth into consciousness. When we speak our realization, we are already seeing it in form. We're not saying hopefully someday or this may happen. We speak our truth into form. And when you're not used to hearing this, it may sound like the practitioner, the minister is somewhat delusional. But it's not the case. We already see it taking form. And this is where treatment for us becomes active, it becomes creative. And here we declare the spiritual truth with conviction. We don't beg, we don't hope, we don't plead. We realize it happening now. And I put 3 areas together today that I thought, so if somebody is seeking healing, if someone has a diagnosis, what we treat for is this, and affirm that the divine life flows through every cell, that harmony governs my body, that intelligence animates every function, that those that treat me are in the divine flow, that all that I meet is bringing me closer to my wholeness, to my healing. If someone seeks abundance, since there's lack of that in their lives, they can say infinite supply is already present. Opportunity, professional opportunity, unfolds easily in my life. Creative channels are now open, and I receive all that God is. If someone seeks peace, we can say divine love dissolves fear, that wisdom guides every decision I make, that calmness, peacefulness clears my mind and leads my way. And we just don't have a thought plus a feeling. What we have is it coming from our truth. It's coming from who we really are. Being in that demonstrates that eventually. So we don't deny circumstances in our teachings. We just affirm a deeper, deeper reality. It doesn't teach us to ignore difficulty or not to see injustice or pain or suffering at all. But it teaches us to move into a place of authority. And when we change our consciousness first, it helps us transform our experience. And so the goal in us in this realization is to embody it, is to deeply feel it, to almost trick our minds, if you will. So rather than saying, I am peaceful, we say, I'm entering peace. Rather than saying, I am guided by the creative mind, I am a creative source of the one, where we claim it happening now. So we move from intellectual to the spiritual realization of this truth for us. The fourth step is thanksgiving, and it's gratitude before evidence appears. We believe when we speak our word, it's already moving into form. We're already grateful that it's taking some way into the future. And it's a sacred step because gratitude seals realization into the consciousness. We give thanks not before the manifestation, we give thanks not after the manifestation appears, but before. Because what gratitude does is it implies acceptance, that we accept it. Many people say when you treat, you just let it be. I came up with something that I like to say called, I treat until I see it at my feet. Doesn't mean when I plant my beautiful snapdragons and next day there's no flower. Doesn't mean I replant them into someplace else. And I look again and there's no beautiful flowers. Doesn't mean I replant them someplace else. But I give them more water. I give them more attention. But I focus my mind onto what I want. And I keep it steadfast until I see it in my life. And when I finish a treatment, what I say, it's this or something better. Something better that you can't even, with our mere mortal minds, even comprehend. But it's either this or something better. When we generally give thanks, we are saying it is already unfolding. The good is already being activated. The answer is already present in the divine mind. So we shift our prayers from doubt and worry to being receptive to something bigger, something greater. So thanksgiving for us, it opens our heart. Gratitude expands. It changes us. Gratitude is spiritual oneness with all that is. And it tunes consciousness towards receptivity and trust in the greater unfoldment. And the fifth step is release, where we just simply let it go into the divine law, knowing that as we say these words, we call it the law, which I like to change that too, and maybe we'll change that too. But I like to call it the servant that simply just takes it, and it's almost like a maitre d' with a nice, napkin on its arm. It takes those prayers and it delivers already into some form. I also like to call it the machine of spirit, that you put something in and it's already being activated. When I talked about the law being automatic, meaning it's always on. Every thought you have is already taking form into somewhere. That it's impersonal, that it doesn't care what you did last Tuesday. It gives you what you put in now. And that is also not impersonal, it's also it's automatic, impersonal, and it affirms your good for you. It's already moving in an intelligent way for your greatest good. So we do not keep digging up the seed, but we nourish it and love it. Holmes emphasized here that once consciousness has impressed the law, we must allow it to operate for the highest and best. Release means I have done my inner work. Now I allow life to unfold. Sometimes it happens quickly, sometimes it happens gradually, but manifestation appears sometimes differently than we had expected. Never in a million years did I think I'd be living in Utah. I thought I'd be living in wine country for the rest of my life. I thought Northern California is where God vacations, and that's where I'm going to be living. I thought that maybe I wouldn't leave Canada, or I'd go back maybe to Vancouver. And here I am, and it's been the best thing for me. So, just to be open when you pray and not to be fixed on something, how it should be and how it should look like. So treatment for us changes because our consciousness shifts when we say these words. So lastly, I want to talk about the difference between treatment and mere positive thinking. And there's a profound difference. Treatment goes deeper. We don't pretend suffering doesn't exist, but we recognize a deeper reality that transcends experience, especially when our philosophy is called metaphysics. And it's really the belief that there's a deeper reality existing behind what we experience. That any challenge, any worry, any concern truly brings us closer to that experience of the one. So treatment does not ignore pain, it transforms our relationship to it. It anchors emotion in who we are in this spiritual truth. So treatment helps establish inner alignment before we see it in the outer world. So the greatest purpose of treatment is not to get more things. That was, I think, a 1980s version. But Holmes envisioned humanity waking to its divine potentiality. He believed that every individual has that wholesome, magnificent divinity within them. And treatment becomes a pathway for us really to remember this truth. So I encourage you in this week, if something is heavy on your heart, you just say to yourself, I am grateful for my life, that I breathe in this truth of wisdom, that I recognize there's only one, and I am unified with that one, that I realize and claim abundance, joy, healing for my family, my friends, the world. And I'm thankful for this. I'm thankful that I can align my mind with something bigger and deeper. And then we let it be, and we simply say, and so it is. So I'd like to close. I wrote a prayer for us today. And I'd like Gary to, thank you, Gary, for playing an instrument for us. But I'd like you to just close your eyes and visualize something, feel something in your life that is being challenged right now. It could be a relationship with loved ones. It could be feeling depleted from the political realm. It could be health and healing that is concern. It could be finding your right vocation, your right way that you want life to unfold. It could be just bringing peace into a situation where there's conflict and unrest. And so let us close with a brief spiritual mind treatment together. There is one infinite life, one divine presence, one eternal love expressing through all of creation. That this presence is deeply compassionate, deeply loving, harmonious, creative, beautiful, abundance, and peaceful. That it expresses itself into everything we see and know to be true. And so I recognize that this divine source, this love, lives within every person here in this room, at the Other Side Village, the Other Side Academy, all here on the west side, the east side, the north, and the south, that no one is separated from spirit, that we are humble and powerful expressions of it. So I realize that clarity replaces my confusion, that peace replaces my fear, that strength replaces limitation, And love dissolves all sense of separation as I am unified with that one. That all in me, my being, is birthed from that source, that I return to that source. And I know everyone here in this room and all our congregates that are traveling this Memorial Day weekend are in that flow of the one. That they are blessed with their thoughts, with their health of wholeness, with the abundance in their lives of friends and family, that they are loved and supported by this one. And so I affirm that divine wisdom guides every step we take, that the infinite good unfolds in perfect ways that we can simply not even imagine. That healing golden vibration of energy, of positivity, of that one power flows through my mind, my body, my soul, my wallet, my friendships, that golden ray of light moves through all life. And I know here and realize that every person is supported by that living spirit that is in and of the universe. So with deep gratitude, I accept this truth now. I give thanks for the action of the divine law working for my highest and best. I just don't have faith and believe. I know this is the truth of me, of how I show up in the world. And so I release this word into the creative medium. I release this heartfelt prayer that has been on my heart up to the universe in support, in love, in guidance, in insight. And I simply know my way appears in harmony, in love, and in ease. And together, with one heartbeat, we simply say, and so it is. Gary, you're such a sweetheart. I just love you so much. You scamper off the stage. So this is part of our tithing, where we have our nice new QR code in the back. We will be having a party at my house the end of June for membership party time. It'll be a potluck barbecue extravaganza. So I don't know how extravagant it will be, but it'll be a summer barbecue, beautiful. And then we tithe 10% of what we make to the Other Side Village. So we're always playing it forward, being part of this wonderful community. So there is my joke, my weekly joke. Hopefully Nicole Merges next week. Reverend Nicole won't have to follow my footsteps. But this is a joke. So during a Mass, the pastor was teaching his congregation what a tithe was. Now, if you have $1 million, he asked the crowd, how many of you will give out 1/10 to the church? All but one raised their hands. Bemused, the pastor walked down towards them and said, why not, my child? He said, isn't there nothing more joyous than giving back to the church and serving God? Well, no, the man said, but I do have $1 million. So as you know, this Thursday, my husband, I, and kids are flying to Japan for our 2-week family vacation, something we've been looking forward to for a couple years. Reverend Nicole Merges will be here speaking, so please support her in any way you see fit. And she also will be doing a beautiful workshop, we're doing the first Sunday of the month. And her workshop is called Sanctuary in the Storm, Living from the Presence Within. It's 11:30 to 1:30, June 7th. So if you could let your friends know, she's a remarkable speaker. Used to work for CSL for 10 years, Director of Education. She's my personal coach. She's a remarkable teacher, does somatic exercises and work. So she'll be speaking for the next 2 Sundays. She'll be doing her Sacred Share next week. She'll be doing a reading the following week. So just support her as best as you can. Also next week, we're starting Diksha, which is going to be the last Sunday of the month in the classroom. It'll be 9:30 to 10. And our board president, Donna Weisinger, and her wife, Cindy, are Diksha givers. And I don't know if you've ever had Diksha where you just sit and let that presence of healing energy fold onto you. It is a beautiful, beautiful experience. So that will always be the last Sunday of the month at 9:30. When I return that week, we are going to start our meditations 9:30 as well. So we'll do those the 3 or 4 Sundays of the month. When there's 5 Sundays, it'll be 4 times, and when there's 4 Sundays, it'll be 3 times. I said to someone, oh, let's sit for an hour, and someone said, no way am I doing that. So we're just going to sit for 20 minutes from 9:30 to 9:50 in the classroom. And I'll lead us through a beautiful meditation. I thought I wanted to do it on a Wednesday night, and someone said, I don't have so much time for church. So we're going to do it when people are already here. But that will start June 14th. So we will meet a half hour before service in a meditation way. And that is all I think I have to say. Wish everyone a beautiful couple weeks. You know I'm going to miss you, but I'll bring back some nice little things from Japan. Hopefully I don't eat them all on the flight home. But I'm so looking forward to seeing Punch the Monkey, the internet celebrity. So I will get to see him on my birthday. And my sermon on June 14th will be on Punch the Monkey, the master spiritual teacher of our time. So come for that, and please invite your friends and family and stuff as well to our service. So thank you very much, everyone, and have a beautiful day. Thank you.
I hope you realize when I said minister, I meant those ministers in a dogma that teaches you original sin, shame, and guilt, and separation from source, which is not something you profess, as you heard today.
I'll be with you, peace enfold you, spirit lift you, breathe it in. I'll run through you, let good flow to you, let joy renew you, till we meet again. Love be with you, ooh, love be with you, ooh, love be with you. Love be with you. Love be with you. Get the hand in hand, take the light and take our standing. We are changing. Whole new life for you and me. We take our past and set us free and share this blessing. Love be with you. Peace enfold you. The spirit lift you, breathe it in. Love be with you, come through you, let love flow to you. Sorry guys, love be with you, ooh, love be with you, ooh, love be with you, ooh, love be with you. Love be with you, love be with you, love be with you, ooh, love be with you, love be with you. Thank you for hanging in there with me. I think about 10 million things while I'm doing this, and I should not. But peace be with you, love be with you. And thank you for flying by the seat of your pants as well as me.